letting y'all know I was having some issues with several of my videos, which is why after the Matt Damon one, you haven't heard anything from me. So I have to re-record a few. So most of them should be okay. I just gotta sit down and do it. I'm like, great, all that work gone. But figured it out. And yeah, so here goes the review. And if it sounds weird on this particular one, it's because it's hodgepodge together, and I was tired by this point. Enjoy. Geek Protagonist. And yeah, how you doing? I just got done watching The Suicide Squad. And this is my review. Spoiler light, if any at all, really. I am one of the people who actually, and I love how people, and I'll review it one of these days. I love how people act like nobody liked the original Suicide Squad movie, which I'm like, no, that's a lie. Same as just like there are people who like the BVS movie where a lot of people are like, I don't like it. You know, in the geek community, yeah, I guess so, but not so much in the broader span. Actually, matter of fact, a lot of people I've met like the Suicide Squad movie. I mean, heck, without releasing in China, it made almost $800 million. So, go figure. I know people like, money don't mean nothing. Well, when it comes to movies, it does. It means you get sequels. Anywho, this movie is, my personal opinion, is actually superior to that movie. And superior to a lot of comic book movies, actually. It's one of the best ones I've watched, like for an enjoyment wise. It was fun. It was interesting. I was surprised and shocked about deaths and how people were and who and everything. And they did a great job. King Shark, well, this version was kind of very simplistic. Seemed like they did play up on his whole, like, who he is more closer to the comics, where the Flash show, King Shark was the more of the science experiment kind of thing. He was kind of like a behemoth and like a Hulk, where he kept evolving and you know, getting muscular and stuff. King Shark is a pretty beastly character. If you haven't known about King Shark's first initial introduction was in Superboy back in the 90s. I actually have that comic. When he and he actually like gave it to Superboy in like the fights and stuff, and you see him in the Suicide Squad later and realize how ridiculously powerful King Shark can be, depending on, you know, what depictions and things they do of King Shark. So this one, it was very interesting. The characters had a great dichotomy. It was funny because like Peacemaker and Bloodsport, technically it's Bloodsport 2 if I remember correctly, were kind of like opposites. When they were the same kind of two sides of the same coin. I'm trying to think of a good comparison. Where people are very, very similar but very different. You know what? Perfect comparison. Think about Batman and Red Hood. There's actually a lot of similarities. I'm talking about Jason Todd. There is a lot of similarities between those two characters, but they're also very, very different in a comic. So like that. It's funny because DC beat Marvel to Squirrel Girl. Because the way they played up Ratcatcher 2 is what Marvel wanted to do with Squirrel Girl when they kept talking about doing Squirrel Girl, and they never got around to doing it for some dumb reason. At least not yet. They probably will now. Definitely Ratcatcher 2 was definitely the heart of the movie. The way they had a lot of the groups and things was excellent. You saw how Amanda Waller deals with how she sees these criminals and how she sees the Suicide Squad or Task Force X and what she thinks about and everything, which is kind of wild. This to me was probably best Harley we've seen. And I've liked her in other stuff too. But I would say that this one is like the quintessential. I felt like this was the culmination of everything they tried. And the scene that they had where they tried to show off in Birds of Prey, which I don't care what anyone says, Birds of Prey had some pretty decent action. I did a review on it. I ain't talking about the movie. I'm just talking about the way they did the action. Harley outdid herself in comparison to what she did in Birds of Prey when she fights groups of people, and you can see like where the evolution of how badass she could be. Idris Elba, of course, you know, brings it like he always does. He's just that. I was very happy to see Storm Reed. I think she's a really cool actress. I like to see where if she decides to do something, like where they could go with her character if they decide to. And the way they played it up, it was like they needed that Will Smith thing, but this time instead of race swapping the character, they actually, you know, went and found a black character. And Peacemaker was hilarious. I seen some article or something where John Cena said he kind of failed big time in his first rounds in Hollywood. And I was like, I just think you just didn't get the parts and stuff like you were until they found out like he had comedic timing. I was like, I think it just took him longer, and now he's really found his niche. And Peacemaker, there's a lot of people I know, not saying you guys would say it, but a lot of people I know would turn around and say they actually expect John Cena to be Captain America and stuff like that. So I feel like James Gunn also thought the same thing, like he would make a good Captain America, so he's going to definitely make a great Peacemaker. And the rivalry between Peacemaker and Bloodsport was hilarious. The way they was like looking at each other while they was like, nah, it was like, I'm better. Nah, I'm better. Because they had like literally down to like the same style, but Peacemaker has a very unique way versus that. Rick Flag was very fun. I liked the groove he was in. You saw like the relationships, and through these wars and things, some of the characters got bonds, like with Captain Boomerang and Harley. Like there literally was a bond, and Rick Flag, and there was just, I like that there was actually a bond. King Shark was great. King Shark, it was funny because Ratcatcher was so sweet at things, and when you find out why, you're like, wow, that's messed up. Like how she got there, and you get like a couple surprises in the movie I was very excited about. But it was also very interesting because the way they did King Shark in this one, it's more like he was like lonely, but he was also, you know, a shark. So I liked how they played that one up. I'm trying to think who else. Some of the other like Suicide Squad members, like Savant and stuff, and Blackguard, like that was very interesting. You know, the way the story went, and it kind of jumped around a little bit, but it was a good jumping around. So I thought that was really good. Like sometimes with time they would show something, and then he would go back and show you like how things were working. I thought that was excellent. Just all in all, James Gunn knocked it completely out the park. Every single thing I felt when I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, I felt like I was getting it here. And the way people were falling, one of my favorite scenes is Peacemaker, when he takes out this one dude that's laying down, and that's all I'm going to say. You'll know when you see it. It was like, I don't know why. I was just like, what? Just the way they set the stuff up. They played up something with Harley, where they kind of played that moment where they were like, you remember now Harley's crazy, and don't you forget it. At the same time, it was very heartfelt where it came from, and it was endearing. And unlike you know, like Black Widow, for example, they actually let the moment stay when it was something rough or emotional. All in all, I think they did a fantastic job. Like I said, it's very emotional. In deep parts, you got to learn a lot about the characters. You got to care about the characters. But he still was able to level like the comedy with it. Very interesting how they did Polka Dot Man. You got to see some villains, a rando like Calendar Man, which I was very happy about. And I thought that was really awesome. And just all in all, I like what they did. I thought it was a really, really good. I'm trying to think, am I forgetting anybody? Oh, the way they did Javelin, the arm dude. Like, there was just a lot of fun. Black Guardsmen, like, it was just a lot of fun what they did and what they accomplished. And James Gunn really brought it and just let loose, and very appreciative of it. So that's the best I could do without really doing any spoilers. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, like I said, you'll enjoy Peacemaker because he is very funny, because he so believes in America. It's like, it doesn't matter what the thing is. If America says, if like a president or a leader says this is what it needs to be, then this is what it needs to be. There was definitely some twists and Amanda Waller kind of turns, and I thought James Gunn handled that really well. I thought it was cool to also see one of the prolific writers of Suicide Squad pop in there. Just all around, it was good stuff. And so my rating, definitely a should buy. Totally should buy. That's the rating. So that's my review of The Suicide Squad. Tell me what you think. Have you seen it? I would definitely love to hear your opinions on it, even though I actually saw it Thursday. But I'm getting this out today. And hopefully it's enough time that more people have seen it. Also, like I said, I just really like the setup, and I think it's cool, and I really liked how they did everything, and it brought me to have interest in the characters. This version of Bloodsport inspired the new comic book version, or the updated comic book version, but I actually like the fact that it's different in the comic book. Like, he has that look because I actually like that look, but as a how he works and stuff is a little bit different, and that's what I want to see. You can use some influence, but I don't want to see a one-to-one from the movie to the comic. Give me something, and vice versa. Unless it's like something really small. Like Peacemaker has been in like, what? He was the Charlton character, so that was like 5, maybe 10 issues. I could be wrong. I know he had the Crisis on Infinite Earth, and then he had that 4-issue series as Peacemaker. That was like back in like the 80s or 90s, literally. And the Suicide Squad, like, that's literally the new comic. That's like pretty much all of Peacemaker's running in Crisis. I think he just showed up for like a couple panels to fight some dark demons. All right. Like I said, tell me what you think. Geek protagonist, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real. And I'll see you.